Many horrendous things happen to innocent people in the world of Resident Evil Village, but perhaps the most horrifying and upsetting stories are when children are the victims. This is one of those stories, one of a little girl looking for hope after losing everything and instead finding horror she could have never prepared for. This is the hidden story of Donna Beneviento and her doll Angie.
I've been waiting for so long. I'd make a much better daughter than Rose. Please, won't you stay with me forever?
What?
Donna the Dollmaker is one of the lords of the village in Resident Evil. Her dominion is the old Beneviento Manor and the surrounding regions, an area that her family had controlled for generations. She is a young, striking woman who always hides her face in a long funeral dress, but she is accompanied by her better half and mouthpiece, Angie, a doll. This twisted being of marionette madness wears a wedding dress in juxtaposition representing both the black and white life and death. This bond is fueled by both a power Donna has to control Angie and other lethal dolls, along with a serious, debilitating mental illness that has left her functionally deranged. This terrifying, ghost-like creature wasn't always what developers at Capcom wanted. The original idea was even more harrowing. The house was always meant to be haunted, but originally it was supposed to be haunted by a ghost family. A mom, a dad, rake thin with many children, all wearing strange masks and all dying in horrifying ways, like perhaps jumping off that waterfall. And perhaps Donna in this plan would have been a doctor from the village, the living heir of this ghost family that haunted and tortured all who entered. Likely this concept was scrapped after the initial idea didn't really work with the Cadeau parasite infection lore set up by Miranda, but the haunted house still remained. As for the events of Resident Evil, Ethan first discovers this lord, like he does with all the lords of the village, during his trial. In fact, Donna and Angie are the first lords he meets.
The man is of no real use to anyone else, and my daughters do so love entertaining foreigners. Furthermore, I can assure you if you entrust the mortal to house any task, my daughters and I shall deliver to you the finest.
Way ugly! I want to see! He's awake!
Brother, shut the fuck up!
What? Where?
You mean you'll screw around with him in private? Where's the fun in that?
Give the mortal to me, and I will ensure he is ready.
Shut your damn mouth! And don't be a sore loser! Go find your food somewhere else.
Quiet now, child. Adults are talking.
I'm the child. You're the one who's arguing with Miranda's decision.
You wouldn't know responsibility if it was welded
Oh,
to
keep growing. One day your head will actually fit your ego.
Hey, don't I get a say in this?
Silence!
Immediately, you can sense the animosity between Angie and Moreau, the childlike flight of fancy contrasting with this gelatinous monster's gloomy demeanor. We don't hear mention of Donna and Angie until the Duke tells Ethan he must retrieve parts of his daughter from all the lords. This sets Ethan on a path towards the Beneviento Manor. Initial drafts of the game had Ethan chased by demon dolls at this moment. Instead, he's engulfed by fog and begins to see things that aren't there. Starting with Mia, his wife, gesturing for him to continue forward, that Rose may be in danger. Ethan also discovers a grave site entombed with many dolls and peculiar flowers. We learn this grave belongs to Claudia Beneviento, who is believed to be Donna's mother. Following the path to a garden shed, we discover much-needed insight into the terrifying pair. November 10th, Mistress Donna is now Mother Miranda's adopted daughter. In all my years, I've never been this overjoyed. Ever since childhood, she has always feared others due to a scar across her face. After her parents' death, she locked herself away and would only talk to Angie, the doll her father made her. I am forever thankful to Mother Miranda's infinite compassion. November 27th. Mistress Donna seems happy. It might be my imagination, but I feel like her doll Angie is even more lively than before. She came to me in the garden today and used Angie to talk with me. We had a mighty fine conversation. Something about receiving a gift of power from Mother. November 29th. Mistress Donna gave me yellow flowers and told me to plant them in the garden. I planted them in front of Miss Claudia's grave. I don't know if it was the scent of the flowers, but I felt lightheaded. Then, like a dream, I saw my departed wife. I mentioned this to Donna and she seemed thrilled by it. She told me to go to the house tomorrow and see her. She said I could see my family once more. I'm not sure what she meant by that, but she's so kind. We learn much of why Donna is the way that she is. She suffered a tragedy losing her parents and only having Angie, the doll her father gave her. We also discovered that not only was she adopted by Mother Miranda, but she was given a gift, a power that has something to do with both Angie and those strange flowers that poor gardener planted. What may have seemed like an act of charity from Mother Miranda, we know now was a calculated maneuver, with Donna ultimately paying the price, as we hear from Miranda herself when searching through her lab much later in the game. Subject name Donna Beneviento. Cadeau affinity favorable. Brain functions normal, although severe mental illness. Physically, she is no different from a regular human. However, she can secrete a signal-producing substance which controls plants infected by the mutomycete. When humans absorb the pollen from a particular flower, she can cause them to have hallucinations. However, she is mentally underdeveloped and has divided her cadeau among her dolls in order to control them from a distance, an unfit vessel for Eva. This power caused a weak, broken child to become even more unhinged. She attempted to use this ability to speak to the dead, but instead found that her power over others merely created hallucinations. And worse still, the scar that she was always ashamed of across her face has now mutated into a disgusting mess thanks to the Cadeau parasite. This also explains why Donna retreated further into that mind of madness, allowing Angie to be her voice. Once Ethan does arrive inside the home, he discovers the first full portrait of the pair without the Cadeau deformity, and he finally makes contact with Angie.
I've been waiting for so long. I'd make a much better daughter than Rose. Please, won't you stay with me forever?
What? Wait, where's my gun?
Angie's words betray a true motivation. Donna is scared and alone and wants others to feel the same way. At this point, Ethan finds a doll of his wife, Mia. In the original concepts of the game, it was actually intended to be a corpse on the table, made to look like Mia, with Donna fulfilling her role as a doctor. Instead, Ethan must solve a series of mysteries while receiving phone calls and messages from his wife crying about the loss or possible even abortion of their child Rose. This leads to one of the most terrifying creatures in the Resident Evil series. I covered this disgusting embodiment of everything Ethan is afraid of in another video if you want to learn more. Eventually, he does escape, but is now faced with a truly terrifying sight. Dolls, dozens of them sitting in a surreal silence. until that is broken by a voice we haven't heard before.
Don't leave. I can't let you.
You're still alive, huh? Before my friends murder you! TikTok! Your life's on the line.
Wait!
Try and find me.
This is the first and only time we hear from Donna, who again implores Ethan to stay with her in this madhouse and then quickly disappears. Although this may be a hallucination, those possessed dolls are very, very real thanks to the Cadeau parasite and can very easily kill Ethan, who now must find Angie, and when he does, he's able to break free of this hallucinogenic power.
Everything would be better if Rose wasn't.
Fucking monster.
Don't you live to Rose, too? You're never going to get out of here. Stupid idiot! What are you doing to my cute friends?
It's over. Mia, we'll make things right. What?
In that final moment, you see Donna in her true mutilated form and discover that Ethan was not stabbing Angie, the terrifying puppet, but in fact, he was stabbing Donna. You can even see the blood stains on the walls from Donna trying to escape Ethan's rage. Once the dust settles and Donna's pain is finally over, Ethan is left with Angie, this terrifying puppet that both saved and ended the life of the doll maker. You can see now how Angie's face is made with the same moon and sun as the Beneviento crest, very similar to Donna's deformity herself. The only thing left to do now is sell this cherished childhood memento to an old friend.
Seeking something in particular? Ah, Miss Angie. Just adorable. Porcelain dolls are very popular, you know.
And with that, the soul of Donna Beneviento is finally at rest. Imagine how differently things may have turned out if Miranda really looked to love and care for this child in need, instead of trying to use her to save a memory. Next up, a man whose hate for Miranda rivals even our own. Heisenberg, the metal monster, will be explained.